Hi all. So in the past few lectures, we were discussing about the various concepts in our Unit 1, that is Introduction to Business Economics. So this is a concluding video for the particular lecture. So what all things we have discussed in different lectures through different concepts, and even you have attempted the challenge questions as well as quiz and other articles, etc. you have gone through, and you will be thorough with the concepts already. So right now, I'll be once again concluding the particular unit. We'll be just glancing through the concepts. So Introduction to Business Economics module, it started with the definition of economics as a whole. So what is economics? We started with the definition of economics. So what is economics? Then what are the two types of economics? That is, what is microeconomics and what is macroeconomics? What the definitions also we have discussed in detail. Micro is individual and macro is aggregate. And then we started with what is business economics, our core concept. So the definition, and first of all, few explanations for business economics. It's integration of economic theory with the business concepts. Okay. And what are the two major business processes of business economics? That is decision making and forward planning are the two major business processes of business economics. So then we started with a definition of business economics, which this definition has been coined by Spencer and Sigelman. According to them, business economics is the integration of economic theory with business practice for the purpose of facilitating decision making and forward planning by the management. So we have discussed the definition. Afterwards, we have discussed in detail what are the characteristics of business economics. So there are basically few characteristics for business economics, starting with first characteristic, it is new discipline. Then it is a separate branch, economics. It is micro in nature because it is dealing with an individual firm. It is pragmatic, that is, it is practical in nature. Because it's a practical application, then it's a normative science because it depends always on facts and figures. Merely with a mere assumption, a business economist will not draw conclusions, or even they will not predict anything. Then next is it's a science of decision making. It's a study of allocation of resources, and it is related to other subjects. These are the few features or characteristics of business economics. So next, what is the difference between economics and business economics? This is very important topic which we have discussed. So business economics and economics, we have discussed five differences, five major differences in this regard. So next we have discussed the objectives or the aim of business economics. So what are the objectives and or aim of business economics concept? So that there are basically seven objectives of business economics which we have discussed in detail. So next topic which we discussed in this particular module under the concept business economics is scope of business economics. So what are the scope of business economics? So first and foremost is demand analysis. The first major role of business economics is to analyze the demand of a product. So next is production and cost analysis. So it helps the managers to attain efficient allocation of productive resources, as we have already discussed throughout. The limited resources and needs and wants of human beings are more. So in order to cope up with that, the production cost analysis is another important scope of business economics. So production cost analysis is basically essential for effective project planning. Then pricing decision policies and practices. So how to price a product. So that is basically related with the demand of that product, current market situation, and other economic factors. So that is another scope. Then capital management, how to manage the capital of a business enterprise properly. That is also another scope of business economics. Then profit management, when profit is there for a firm, how to utilize this profit effectively in order to attain a long-term success. So that is what is another scope of business economics. So next scope is decision making as a whole. So most important function of business economics, the business manager is responsible to utilize the scarce resources available and to derive on optimum satisfaction. So that is what is the scope of business economics. Then we have discussed the roles and responsibilities of business economist. So who is a business economist? Is the one who has specialized in basic economic theory, and with this knowledge he provides support to the firm to take several economic decisions which are initial to the growth of a firm. So these roles are proposed by Professor K.J.W. Alexander and Alexander G. Kemp. So the roles and responsibilities of business economists is coined by the two prominent scholars. So the first role is a capital budget, sales forecasting, capital budget preparation is the first role, sales forecasting, industrial market research, pricing of industrial products, future investment programs, economic analysis of competitors, advice on trade and public relations, advice on purchase of raw materials, advice on inventory building, environmental aspects and technological development, market survey to determine the nature and extent of competition. These are the important roles of a business economist. And there are two major responsibilities of business economist. That is, first is better management of resources, as we have already discussed, limited resources or scarce resources, and unlimited wants and needs by the human being. So better management of resources is the first responsibility, and second responsibility of a business economist is economic forecast. So these are the basic responsibilities of a business economist. So next part of your first module dealt with macroeconomic concepts. So we have already explained in the few lectures before what is macroeconomics. So macroeconomics is a branch of economics that studies the behavior and performance of an economy as a whole. It focuses on the aggregate changes in the economy such as unemployment, growth rate, gross domestic product, and inflation. So it is that part of economic theory which studies the economy in its totality. We have already discussed it's an aggregate or it is the economy as a whole. So henceforth, it deals with aggregate income, total employment, aggregate savings and investment, aggregate demand, aggregate supply, and general price level. So there are basically few significance or importance of macroeconomics which we have discussed in this particular context. And next, we started discussing with what is inflation. It's an increase in the price of goods and services, different types of inflation, demand pull inflation, built-in inflation, cost push inflation, monetary inflation, and the major consequences of inflation in the economy. Then we have discussed what is deflation. The definition of deflation or negative inflation we have discussed. In this particular period, prices fall in the same way as they rise in the case of inflation. So the major reasons is insufficient demand, excess supply, and the consequences of deflation also we have discussed in this detail. Then we started discussing national income. So what is national income? The definition, and the definition by Pigot has defined national income as that part of the objective income of the community, including income derived from abroad, which can be measured in money. Then we have discussed what is gross national product, GNP. It is a total market value of final goods and services produced in a year. Then what is gross domestic product? It's the aggregate value of output of goods and services produced in a country without adding net factor incomes received from abroad. So GDP is measured at a market price. So GDP is equal to GNP minus income received from abroad. So domestic means the income received only in the Indian context. So we have discussed the various methods to measure national income. Product method, income method, and expenditure method. So what is product method, what is expenditure method, and what is income method, that also we have discussed in detail. So next, topic which is very important and last topic in the unit 1 which we have discussed is business cycles. So what do you mean by business cycle? There's another term for business cycle is trade cycle. It refers to the fluctuations in the production, employment and income of the people of a country. So business cycle is a very complex economic phenomenon and it is associated with the alternating periods of prosperity and depression. And there's a definition also coined by Habler. The business cycle in general sense may be defined as a alternation of periods of prosperity and depression of good and bad trade. So we have discussed characteristics of business cycle. Then these are the phases of business cycle. Each phases were explained in detail. It is boom, recession, depression, recovery, and prosperity. So prosperity is then boom, recession, depression, recovery. So this is how it goes, and each phases are explained in detail. What is the depression phase? Then what is the revival or recovery phase? Then after revival or recovery, it is prosperity or full employment. After prosperity, it is boom, that is our full employment. After boom or our full employment, again recession comes. Then from recession, again recovery. So it is, sorry, from recession, it is depression. So like that, the cycle continues. So each phase, including its characteristics, are explained in detail and even with a diagram is also explained. So it is a recovery, then boom, recession, recovery. It is a full employment, how it is attained. Then again from boom to recession, recession to depression, from depression to prosperity. So this is how the business cycle goes. So this is what we have discussed in our unit 1. Okay, so unit 1, we have discussed the concept of business economics and the various aspects pertaining to that, as well as few macroeconomic concepts. So that's all we have discussed in our unit 1. So thank you all for listening.